Jesus, the Son of God, was crucified on a Roman cross. This event, a pivotal moment in history, took place in Jerusalem, a city buzzing with religious and political tension. The sky was clear as Jesus, falsely accused and unjustly condemned, breathed his last. Little did those present know that this was not the end, but the beginning. What followed his death was a series of shocking events, signs that shook the very foundations of the world. These events were not mere coincidences. They were miraculous occurrences, divine pronouncements that underscored the significance of Jesus' death. As if reacting to the cosmic shift caused by Jesus' death, the earth itself convulsed. A violent earthquake ripped through the land, splitting rocks and tearing the ground asunder. This was no ordinary tremor. It was a display of raw power, a physical manifestation of the spiritual upheaval taking place. The earthquake's impact extended beyond the surface, reaching deep into the earth to shake open tombs, the final resting places of the dead. The dead, awakened from their sleep, emerged from their tombs. These were not ghastly figures, but resurrected saints, proof that death had been conquered. Their presence, a testament to Jesus' victory over death, served as a precursor to the resurrection that awaited all believers. This event was a clear sign that something extraordinary had happened, a disruption of the natural order that pointed towards a new reality. Inside the Grand Jerusalem Temple, another shocking event unfolded. The veil, a massive curtain that separated the Holy of Holies, the most sacred space in the temple, from the rest of the sanctuary, tore in two. This was no ordinary tear. It ripped from top to bottom as if torn apart by an invisible force. This veil, a potent symbol, represented the separation between God and humanity, a barrier maintained by centuries of religious rituals and sacrifices. The tearing of the veil signified the removal of this barrier. Jesus' death, the ultimate sacrifice, had bridged the gap between God and humanity. No longer was access to God restricted to a select few. The way was now open for all who believed in Jesus. This event marked a new era in the relationship between God and humanity, a covenant of grace and direct access. As if cloaked in a shroud of grief, the land was plunged into darkness. The sun, usually a beacon of life, disappeared from the sky, casting an eerie gloom over the land. This darkness, lasting from noon until 3 in the afternoon, was not a natural eclipse. It was a supernatural phenomenon, a tangible symbol of the spiritual darkness that had descended upon the world. This darkness mirrored the darkness that had enveloped the heart of humanity. It represented the weight of sin, the separation from God, and the despair that had gripped the world. The darkness served as a stark reminder of the consequences of sin and the desperate need for redemption. The timing of the darkness, coinciding with Jesus' final hours on the cross, amplified its significance, linking it directly to his sacrifice. Among those present at the crucifixion was a Roman centurion, a battle-hardened soldier accustomed to death and violence. This man, a symbol of Roman authority and a witness to the events surrounding Jesus' death, had a profound change of heart. The earthquake, the darkness, the tearing of the veil, these supernatural events shook him to his core. He, who had initially seen Jesus as just another condemned criminal, came to a startling realization. Truly, this man was the Son of God, he exclaimed. This confession, coming from a Roman soldier, a man steeped in pagan beliefs, was astonishing. It demonstrated the power of Jesus' death and the undeniable evidence of his divinity. The centurion's conversion served as a powerful testament to the impact of Jesus' sacrifice, an impact that transcended cultural and religious boundaries. The events following Jesus' death did not happen in a vacuum. They were witnessed by a multitude of people, disciples, followers, and even those who had opposed Jesus. These witnesses, shaken to their core by what they had seen and heard, became the first messengers of the Christian faith. They shared their experiences, spreading the news of Jesus' death and the miraculous events that followed. The women who had followed Jesus, discovering the empty tomb, played a crucial role in spreading the news of his resurrection. Their testimony, initially met with disbelief, gained traction as others came forward with their own accounts of the miraculous events. The shocking nature of these events, coupled with the growing number of witnesses, made it impossible to ignore. The events following Jesus' death were not isolated incidents. They were interconnected, each one pointing to a larger truth. They signified a seismic shift in the spiritual realm, the dawn of a new covenant between God and humanity. The earthquake and open tombs symbolized Jesus' victory over death and the promise of resurrection for believers. The torn veil represented the removal of the barrier between God and humanity, allowing for direct access through Jesus. The darkness that engulfed the land reflected the weight of sin and the need for redemption. The centurion's confession highlighted the universal impact of Jesus' sacrifice, reaching even those outside the Jewish faith. These events taken together painted a clear picture of God's plan for humanity, a plan of redemption, reconciliation, and new life through Jesus Christ. For those who believed in Jesus, the events following his death were a source of immense hope and encouragement. They provided tangible evidence of his divinity, his victory over death, and the truth of his teachings. The resurrection, foreshadowed by the open tombs, became the cornerstone of the Christian faith, a promise that death was not the end, but a transition to a new life. The torn veil offered comfort and assurance, knowing that they now had direct access to God through Jesus. They were no longer bound by the old rituals and sacrifices, but could approach God with confidence and boldness. The events following Jesus' death instilled in believers a sense of purpose and mission. They were called to share this good news with the world, spreading the message of hope, forgiveness, and new life through Jesus Christ. The death of Jesus was not the end, it was the beginning. The miraculous events that followed his crucifixion served as undeniable proof of his divinity, his victory over death, and the establishment of a new covenant between God and humanity. These events, witnessed by many, became the foundation of the Christian faith, a faith built on the hope of resurrection, the promise of forgiveness, and the power of the Holy Spirit. The impact of Jesus' death and resurrection continues to resonate throughout history, shaping lives, inspiring hope, and transforming hearts. The events of that first Easter weekend stand as a testament to the transformative power of faith, the enduring nature of love, and the ultimate victory of life over death.